media, and through you, we would like to engage the citizens of this country of the incidents that happened yesterday, where suspected UPND cadres came and mercilessly attacked our people and our property. Before I go into that matter, I want to start by thanking the people of the Copper Belt for the warm reception that they've given to our presidential candidates, President Binwell Mpundu and his running mate, President Makebi Zulu. So far, we've had engagements in Dola, we have had engagements in Kafulafuta. We were in Rwansha yesterday, where we were received massively. And today, we have 3 engagements. We are going to be in Rufwanyama midday. We are going to be in Kalushi later on in the afternoon and wrap off our day in Kitwe. So we are inviting the residents of Rufwanyama, Kalushi and Kitwe to come and be part of these engagements so that you hear for yourself what is in the offing from our president. Now, the country will remember that we embarked on this campaign trail a month ago, and we've traversed the country from the eastern province into Muchinga, into northern province, Luapula, we've covered Lusaka, and we are now on the Copper Belt. And contrary to all those that have insinuated that the NRPU, because we are an offshoot of the PF, predominantly, we are as violent as they keep portraying the PF to have been. We have conducted over 50 public rallies, and not a single incident of violence has ever been recorded. Now, that is in comparison to the so-called angels who have to this day caused 5 deaths. You are aware of the person that was killed in Magoye, a driver of one of the independent candidates. You are aware of the 3 people that were killed in Kanyama at the hands of the UPND. You are also aware, fellow citizens, of the gentleman who was killed in Kaputa, and unfortunately the police decided to pin the death on our people of the NRPU when they knew very well that that death was occasioned by UPND cadres. So this is to stress the fact that we have been as peaceful as was expected from the time that we started our campaign activities a month ago. Interestingly, our friends from the UPND, the police, have worked in collusion to try and provoke us at every turn we take. You remember how many times we have been disturbed, almost our rallies being stopped by the police in many areas. You saw, fellow citizens, how we were made to use a very terrible route in Chama, all because the police wanted to just disturb us. You are aware of what has now happened on the Copper Belt, where Officer Yui and his officers literally stopped a fully organized campaign rally in Twapia, in Ndola. And you are aware that we were saved by the mass gathering of the people who said they would not give in to such intimidation. Sadly, yesterday, you all witnessed an unprecedented levels of violence occasioned by the UPND. Interestingly, the violence of yesterday were done right under the noses of the police. I think this story you are now fully aware. We have just decided to give context. Now, for those who may be getting this conversation, myself as Binwell Mpundu, I have been the leader of this city. And if there is a violence anywhere in any part of Kitwe, it will not take me more than 10 minutes to know who has caused the violence here in Kitwe. We can talk about other places of the Copper Belt, but when you talk about Kitwe, fellow citizens, any incidence of violence that is done in Kitwe, it will not take me more than 10 minutes for me to know who has organized that. And I can tell you as we speak today, some of you heard me challenging the police yesterday. We are fully aware of every detail of the violence that was conducted here and who was involved in the violence. What we have done is that we have presented some information to the police, because for those who are not aware of the details, the activities of yesterday started with an early morning attack. The UPND went to one of the Shebon properties, found three gentlemen, Tailoka, Paul, and they were brutally attacked at the instruction of a UPND district official called Mwiza. So Mwiza, wherever you are, we are aware of your instructions to your cadres yesterday to attack our three officials who were admitted in the hospital yesterday. And in the process, they managed to damage a good number of vehicles right at the Shebon Lodge. These criminals moved now to Shebon Hotel, where they did a mass destruction of property, and a number of our officials were also caught up in the crossfire. Again, I want to stress that we are fully aware of the criminals that were involved in this arrangement. We are aware of the names of the three individuals that were sponsored from Undola. We are aware of the three criminals that were sponsored from Kitwe by name, and we are aware where they live. So we will make this as a challenge to the police, and I want to challenge Officer Yui Mwaya. We will endeavor to provide you with information, because we know Officer Mwaya, contrary to how you portray yourself that you are a commander, you may obviously not have, or you may not endeavor to undertake a thorough investigation in this matter. But we will be so gracious enough to give you details of the criminalities that was conducted yesterday and the individuals that were involved and the sponsors. And we will give the police command on malicious damage to our property and aggravated robbery, because some of our officials who were attacked yesterday were robbed of their monies. So there's aggravated robbery and there's also malicious damage to our property. And so we are challenging, and I'm challenging on behalf of President Binwell Mpundu, Officer Yui Mwaya, to arrest these criminals, or else they are on their own. Because there are only two things that are available, and I want to stress this point. When citizens are pushed in the corner, when law enforcement agencies are not able to guarantee peace and security for the citizens, when the police watch citizens being attacked by criminals and stand akimbo, there remains only one option, and it is provided for in the Constitution that our citizens should now defend themselves with the equal measure as to the aggression. So beyond the 24 hours that we are giving Officer Yui, we are going to rely on the Constitution to start defending ourselves with equal measure. Now I know, fellow citizens, you have heard our two presidents, President Binwell Mpundu and President Makebi, insisting that we are not going to retaliate. And we have restrained ourselves for such a long time. And our worry now is that we are going to be killed by these criminals. If some of you expect that we are going to stand and be slapped, some of you expect that we are going to stand and be stoned, we are going to stand and our properties be destroyed, unfortunately, we may end up being killed. if the police, with all the information we are going to give them, we have already started giving them at their disposal, will not act to arrest these criminals, will remain with no other option but to now invoke the provision of the law that guarantees us the right and duty to defend ourselves. So let me send a warning. All of you, Imweba Kada, Imweba UPND, who came to Shebon Hotel yesterday to attack our people and to destroy our property, I want to tell you that I know all of you by name and where you live. You have an option to surrender yourselves to the police, because if the police will not arrest you, you are on your own. And God be with you. Because colleagues and fellow citizens, surely you have watched the violence at the hands of the UPND for so long. You have watched criminals like Kalufianya in Lusaka antagonize citizens, abduct citizens, torture citizens. You have heard stories of people, that innocent people, for simply playing a Mpundu with a song, who have been mercilessly attacked, and the police have done nothing. Please, if there's anyone who has an option to give us an option of what we must do if the police are not prepared and are not willing to protect us, or at least guarantee us that they are going to protect us. Now, the other sad part of this issue, fellow citizens, is that we are aware that there are certain individuals who have actually been recruited into the police service to actually be part of this criminality. Not long ago, fellow citizens, you saw a video of the altercation we had with the police in Chama, where part of the entourage or the contingent of the police that disturbed us in Chama, there was a police officer masked up who had a catapult. One would want to ask, why would a police officer carry Amale again? Catapult. Because the police officers are equipped with, gadgets that they must use, official gadgets, guns, and short buttons and everything else. So why would Kapokola go with the Amale again? And we know this particular individual, we know him by name. He's actually not a police officer. We are aware also of individuals that were being trained somewhere in Chivombo, about 150 of them who are on the copper belt as we speak, who are going to be cladded up in uniforms of the police to be part of the policing, apparently in the name of policing, but we know they are going to be part of the criminality that is going to be done. Because how do you explain the police watching criminals attack us, and then they want to spin it around that we are the ones who are causing the violence, as was being demonstrated by Mukandawire yesterday, who literally wanted to blame us for the attack because we did not inform them where we are residing. Come on, is there a law that suggests that when a politician goes into this, he must tell the police where he's lodging? Is it not obvious? And I say this with a lot of authority, that I was in charge of this city, and I was in charge of the security wing as a DJOC chairman. There's no way the police and law enforcement agencies, the intelligence included, would not know where Brand Mundubire is sleeping or spending a night, unless after we left in 2021, the system has collapsed completely, that we have useless intelligence officers who would not know where the police, or rather Brand Mundubire, would be spending the night. That is what was being suggested by Mukandawire yesterday, proudly saying, we caused the violence because we did not inform the police where we are spending the night. As if that would help. We, and I want to speak to Officer Mwaya, we are aware of police officers who are masked up. Fellow citizens, is there any reason why a law enforcement agency, an officer, who are the interface between government and the people, would be clad in masks. What are they hiding? Ba police na besa na ba ifimba na kumenzo nishi balefisa. Does it conclude the assertion that we have rogue elements who have been recruited and are being clad in police uniforms to be part or to aid the criminality being occasioned by the UPND? Because if it was not so, there's no way those criminals yesterday would have escaped the police, who were actually right there where these crimes were being committed yesterday. So I want to repeat what I have said, colleagues. At the instruction of our two leaders, President Binwell Mpundu and Makebi, we have restrained ourselves for such a long time, and it is hurting us because our properties have been destroyed. We keep living in fear. Our campaign activities keep on being disturbed. Right as we speak now, the officers from the early hours of the morning surrounded Honorable Perfumer's house. For what? Just so that they can disturb our planned activities in Kitwe. In the early hours of the morning, officers of the state surrounded Simi Kalobo's house. For what? Because they want to disturb the activities of our day-to-day. We are also aware that there is one woman in Kalushi who has sponsored young people to stone our team as we move to Lufwanyama. I was calling this lady. We know what you are planning and the people that you have engaged to stone our team as we move into Lufwanyama. You are inviting trouble my Nkashiandi on yourself. Fileke. If you fear bukuba, fileke uko kalulushuko. Muiza naba nobe. If you fear bukuba mwambile fileke. You are inviting trouble that you will never, handle. Because let me tell you, fellow citizens, that we have the capacity to inflict pain on the people that are causing this violence on our team. Yes, our president have said let's restrain ourselves, but there is an extent to which we cannot condone this criminality on our people. And I speak with a lot of authority that if this criminality continues, we will not need you by Yui na bantu benu. We will not need you. We have the capacity to protect ourselves. So this morning, I just thought I must inform you, the citizens of this country, that we cannot take it anymore. The violence that is being occasioned by the UPND, we can't take it anymore. The disturbance of our programs by the police, we can't take it anymore. You all are aware that we have a 5-day campaign period by the timetable of the ECZ on the Copper Belt. In that 5 days, we can go anywhere and we can do any approved activities of campaign. It will mean we can do a road show, we can do a door-to-door, we can do radio program and TV programs, and we can do public rallies. The decision as to what activities we can do is all ours. There's nowhere under the mandate of the police that they can stop us from having or conducting a road show within the 5 days that we have been given here on the Copper Belt. And the police, and I say this because I had an altercation with you, do not have the authority and the power to decide which area we must be in the 5 days. For all the 5 days. We can go around all the district of the Copper Belt in 1 day and the next day and the next day. So Officer Yui, I know you have studied law, but the law you've studied, use it. Stop being a cadre in a uniform and disturbing our program. It indicates, boss, enough is enough. Fellow citizen, I thought I must engage you to express our misgiving and our frustration at the violence of the UPND and also the disturbances of the police. I leave you to make your own conclusion as to what the status quo is. I thank you, fellow police.